Yo, what's good, Marvin Garden enthusiasts? So look, bro, today we got another reaction. 10 greatest players, NFL players, who retired too soon. Let's check it out, bro. High as hell, bro.
Are the worst part of sports. Year in and year out, with every juke or tackle made, fans are crossing their fingers, hoping their team's star player doesn't stay down longer than normal. Unfortunately,
that hurt, bro.
some
That hurt. That day hurt, bro. That day hurt. That day really hurt. Like, bro, when I tell you that day hurt, it really hurt. Like, bro, I was like, I don't know, bro. I didn't even know what to think. I thought Dak's career might be over, bro, after this injury. But thank God it wasn't. But shit, man, this was a tough day for me, man. I ain't gonna lie.
injuries take a larger toll, and it's led to some of the greatest players in NFL history abruptly leaving in the prime of their career. Today, we take a trip down memory lane,
Oh yeah, Joe
looking
Burrow
at
got hurt in his rookie season. I forgot about
some
that shit.
NFL greats and wondering what would have happened if they hadn't stepped away
It was like a season-ending injury, I think.
from the game so soon. Billy Sims. Barry Sanders isn't the original Lions number 20. In 1980, Detroit took Oklahoma Heisman Trophy winner Billy Sims with the first pick in the draft. From his very first game, Billy was the best player the Lions had since Night Train Lane in the 60s. Sims' debut was a 3-touchdown explosion. He was the first player to do so
never heard
in
of him.
history. Billy's career was extravagant, with 26 touchdowns in his first 2 years. He's known best for his airborne karate kick on Houston Oilers corner Steve Brown, which earned him the nickname Kung Fu
Oh wait, that's the one that did that. I always thought that was Barry Sanders.
Billy Sims. In 1984,
That's
a
crazy,
freak
bro. I
knee
didn't
injury
know that.
ended Sims' career instantly. In only a little over 4 seasons, Billy Sims ran for over 5,000 yards. Even in such a short span, he's still one of the top 140 all-time rushers. Sims' heart-wrenching injury put Detroit right back into the dumps until another member of this list threw on that Motor City Blue number 20, Luke Kuechly. Kuechly is a linebacker's linebacker. His do-it-all play style brought him immediate recognition. Defensive
player,
Rookie
bro.
of the
In my opinion, underrated player.
Year in his first season, then AP Defensive Player of the Year in his second. Kuechly was a jack of all trades.
Cause bro, he was basically the whole Panthers defense, bro. The whole Panthers defense.
And a master of them too. He made plays that made people wonder if he was in the offensive huddle. Kuechly covered receivers just as well as he stopped the run and rushed the passer. It's nearly impossible to game plan to dodge a middle linebacker, so Kuechly dominated. During his career, Kuechly broke the record for most tackles in a game, recorded over 1,000 tackles, and made 5 All-Pro teams. He then abruptly retired after the 2019 season. His retirement shook the Panthers faithful to the core, as they just hired a new coach and moved on from their starting quarterback Cam Newton in the same offseason. Emotional, Kuechly said he felt it was the right time to move away from the game. The numerous injuries, from concussions to shoulder injuries, took a toll on him throughout the years, and he left the game at just 28 years old. Gale Sayers.
Like, bro, it
Mike
must be hard to play football for years and years and years, getting multiple injuries, multiple hits to the head, bro. It takes a fucking toll after a while, man.
Called Gale Sayers the greatest player he's ever seen. His talent level was unmatched, even compared to today's athletes. His 9.7 100-meter dash rivals Olympic sprinters, and he was the hardest player in the league to tackle. In his rookie season alone, Sayers scored 22 touchdowns and a still-standing single-game record of 6 touchdowns. In just 4 full 14-game seasons, Sayers had over 9,000 all-purpose yards. That's 140 yards a game, by far the most impressive mark in history. Sayers was basically a scoring machine for the Bears, impossible to bring down, and even harder to keep out of the end zone. He made the All-Pro list every single season he played. Sayers was ahead of his time, but so was his injury. An ACL-MCL tear was something that technology just hadn't caught up to yet. After many failed comeback attempts, Sayers retired from the NFL after only 5 true seasons. Patrick Willis.
Damn.
Patrick Willis was a
What years did
behemoth
Sayers
inside
play?
backer for the 49ers. He had the athleticism of a safety and the physicality of a 1970s throwback player.
Yeah, Patrick Willis was really good. Bro.
Tackles struck fear in opposing offensive players. Willis violently imposed his will every down. He was simply everywhere in the run game, forcing offenses to be one-dimensional. But
he played for Ole Miss, right? Willis
was far more than a run plugger. He had speed to make plays like few others. Willis's leadership from the middle linebacker position helped bring the Niners to their first Super Bowl trip since the days of Jerry Rice and Steve Young. After making a Pro Bowl every year of his career, Willis stunned the football world, retiring at age 30, walking away from the biggest linebacker contract in history. Willis was on pace to retire top 5 all-time in tackles, and instead chose his health over a long and grueling decade-plus career.
I feel it, bro.
Bo Jackson. Everybody knows what Bo Jackson was all about. He was a Pro Bowl running back for the Raiders, an MLB All-Star with the Royals, a sports icon for Nike, and the best Tecmo Bowl character of all time. It seemed like you could fill a top 10 list with just what Bo Jackson did weekly, and the stories that swirled around Bo became more legendary than he did. After a tumultuous beginning in football, Bo was drafted by the Los Angeles Raiders. He played in the NFL and the MLB at the same time. Bo set the still-standing Monday Night Football record of 221 yards on the ground. However, in his first playoff game, Bo was tragically hurt from an ordinary tackle. The hit dislocated his hip, and he was later diagnosed with a vascular necrosis. In an effort to keep one of his sports careers alive, Bo retired almost immediately from football. For sports fans, this remains one of the worst days ever. Bo Jackson is the rarest athlete we've ever seen, and if not for a freak hip injury, he would have been the first player to win an MVP in 2 different sports leagues. I guess as it is, we'll never truly find out what all Bo knew. Calvin Johnson. Casual fans were shocked when Calvin
played in the MLB and the NFL at the same time.
Johnson was taken so high in the draft by the Lions. The Georgia Tech monster at receiver didn't get many passes thrown to him in the old-school Yellow Jacket offense. It didn't take long for them to find out why he was worth the risk, though. Fittingly, Calvin Johnson was nicknamed Megatron, after Optimus Prime's nemesis. He's only 6'5", 240 pounds, runs a 4.340, and caught anything within a quarter mile of him. It didn't matter what defenses tried against Calvin, double coverage, jamming him, building entire game plans around him. None of them stopped Megatron from breaking the single-season receiving record, even when the Lions were downright terrible. Johnson dominated. After
one of the top 3 receivers in my opinion, bro.
9 years of elite play, his career ended like other Lion greats. Frustrated with the lack of his team's success, along with the constant injuries and recovery process, Johnson retired from the NFL at age 30. If he continued for another 3 to 4 years, there is little doubt he would post some of the best all-time marks for a receiver ever. Andrew Luck.
Bro.
Luck is the golden boy that saved the Colts franchise after Peyton Manning left. In just his first year, he captained a 9-win turnaround season, taking Indianapolis to the playoffs as a rookie. With Luck, the Colts were never...
I don't really think Andrew Luck retired early because, bro, he had way too many injuries, bro. Way too many injuries.
Truly out of a game. He led 20 game-winning drives and 16 comebacks. 7 of those were in his rookie season. Luck posted more yards in his first 3 seasons than anybody before him, and threw for the most yards in his first 5 postseason games in history. Luck dragged lesser-talented Colts teams into the playoffs, but he couldn't quite get over the hump once he got there. Luck dealt with multiple injuries, including 2017, where he missed the entire season because of his shoulder. After winning Comeback Player of the Year in 2018, Luck got hurt once more.
I think he retired for the best, you know what I'm saying?
One of the most shocking retirements in history. Against his will, Luck's decision was announced on Twitter.
I actually wasn't surprised, at all. He had way too many injuries.
Twitter by Adam Schefter during a preseason game. The Colts fans found out while he was on the sidelines, and the organization has still not been able to recover at the quarterback position. Jim Brown. Jim Brown is the original greatest of all time.
They never surrounded Andrew Luck with true talent, bro. He could have been really, really, really good if like the Colts were better about surrounding him with talent. You know what I'm saying? Giving him a good offensive line, giving him a good defense. I mean, he had T.Y. Hilton like to throw to, but like good receiving core. You know what I'm saying? Like they never really did that until he was already like injury prone. You know what I'm saying?
He was a fullback for the Cleveland Browns and became the first player ever to eclipse 100 rushing touchdowns, and his 8 rushing titles is double anyone
Yeah,
else in
Jim Brown's a
history. I mean,
legend.
just think, he's on this list. That means he left too early. Brown retired after 9 legendary seasons that were bookended with NFL championships. Brown was finished with
Ahead of his
football,
time.
but just getting started elsewhere. He went on to have a lucrative run in Hollywood as an actor, became the first African American to announce a pro boxing match, and even authored an autobiography. Brown even thought of coming back to the NFL almost 2 decades later to keep his all-time rushing record intact. However, he ultimately didn't and was passed by Chicago great Walter Payton. Barry Sanders. Sanders' highlight tape
Yeah,
is
greatest running
absolutely
back of all
legendary.
time,
He was as
in my
shifty
opinion.
as he was fast and powerful. Barry made some of the game's best defenders look like pedestrians. Any other players seemed to be moving in slow motion around Sanders. The Heisman Trophy winner is often regarded as the greatest running back in history, single-handedly taking the
Yeah.
Lions and their
In my
offense to
opinion, he's the
multiple
greatest running back in
playoffs in
history.
just 10 seasons.
I think it's Barry Sanders number 1, Emmett Smith number 2, Adrian Peterson number 3. That's my top 3 in running backs, in my opinion.
He recorded 15,269 rushing yards. Sanders decided to step away from the game, just 1,500 yards away from the all-time rushing mark set by Walter Payton. When asked why later, Sanders brought up his frustrations with management and the decade of losing despite him being arguably the league's best player. All of his statistical achievements led to the little team's success. Sanders silently left on the eve of the 1999 season, with his health still intact. Pat Tillman. Pat Tillman
Yes,
was
sir.
the starting safety for the
Like I
Arizona
said, I
Cardinals
feel it,
from
bro.
1998 to 2001. Drafted in the 7th round, he made an immediate, unexpected impact for the Cards. Following the September 11th terrorism attacks, Tillman decided to enlist in the United States Army. He refused a $4 million contract from the Cardinals in the process,
Hey, I
effectively
respect it.
ending his NFL career. In a military
Went to the
mistake,
military?
Tillman was unfortunately killed by friendly fire in Afghanistan.
bro.
Unlike many on our list, Pat's career was not ended by injuries or other reasons out of his control. Tillman voluntarily risked his life for this country, putting it before his
Facts, bro. I
successful and
respect
promising
it.
opportunities in the NFL. His decision symbolizes the sacrifice made every day by men and women to keep this country safe. Tillman's tragic death doesn't take away from the lives he positively impacted in the process, and for that, he is our greatest player that left the game too soon. So, there you have it.
Yeah, bro, I respect it. He went to the military to fight for the country instead of get a 4-year contract, bro. I respect it. But hey, what do y'all think is the best player to retire early? We'll see y'all next time. I'm out.